What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Anderson here. I think it's time to be a little bit harsher on Tuchel because even though it's still early days, there should have been at least some changes by now. And honestly, it doesn't feel like there has been. There's been a change in personnel, but as far as the play style, as far as the ideas, the tactics, the formation has changed, but nothing about the desire. To get forward, the desire to get in the box, the desire to chase down the ball. None of that's changed. It all feels the same as it did under Lampard. Obviously he had other issues with an unwillingness to change tactics, an unwillingness to change formation, keep trying the same stuff. He had that issue as well, but his main issue is the fact that he couldn't get the players motivated to get down the field quickly, to move the ball quickly, to get movement in the box. There was an apathy to the play. We're still seeing that under Tuchel. It wasn't as apparent in the first few games because all three of the teams that we played didn't really press us. They didn't really push us. They all kind of sat back and waited for us to come to them, and then they, defended decently enough, and we just eventually worked it into the box and got a goal. But for this one, Sheffield showed they had a desire to make sure we didn't have time to play. We didn't have time to pass it around the back. We didn't look comfortable because it's like we've been drilled in. We have to keep possession in the backfield, and Sheffield left players up. They left players in our backfield, so that way, whenever our first turn was, I'm going to go back to my defense. Now you're playing it to a defender who's under pressure. And we never changed. The entire game was the exact same. It was pass, 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 pass it to a defender, put under pressure, get rid of it, or lose possession and put ourselves, on the back foot. It was just all the same. And we still looked mostly dominant, in possession. We still created, I think, the better chances. But Sheffield gave us a game because we were unwilling to change how we played. And that's a problem. Whenever Sheffield are leaving 3 or 4 players up in our back line, maybe our first turn shouldn't be to go backwards. Maybe our first pass should not be, hey, I'm going to go back to a defender, because that defender's probably under pressure. As much as we were doing that today, you would think they would figure that out, but they never did. And I think that goes back to the manager. Because it's his ideas that he's putting in there. And clearly his idea is we need to keep possession in the backfield. Which is very much the same as Lampard. So I don't know why we went and got a manager who, honestly, I don't know much about him. So maybe this is not how he's set up his teams in the past. But that's definitely how he's setting us up now. Based on everybody's first touch, there's not that desire to get down the field. Between how many touches Kovacic and Jorginho make in the midfield, our first idea is not, let me see what's on. It's, all right, take a touch, let me survey, all right, need to keep possession, there's nothing in front of me, I'm just going to go back. That's all we're doing. And we move the ball very well in our backfield, but then when we get up the field, it's like everybody just sort of shuts off. We're not under pressure anymore. We're not in as much danger anymore. So now we're just going to take it easy. If you're not playing quickly, you're not going to get the ball in the box. You're not going to create chances. So why? Why? Somebody tell me why. Why is Tuchel setting us up to be a possession-based team with no attack? Because that's frustrating and boring to watch. My nose itches. Aside from that, let's talk personnel. Because, again, I think I said this very early on. I don't know if I said it in my reviews or if I mentioned it on Twitter. But Jorginho was not Lampard's problem. Not playing Jorginho was not Lampard's problem at all. In fact, that's probably one of the few things that he did correctly. So, you've got Conte, you've got Gilmore, so Mason Mount can play back there, so what are we doing? Why is Jorginho in the starting 11 every single game now for full 90 minutes? Why? After the Burnley game, you can make an argument that he should be fighting for a spot now. After the Tottenham game, didn't do much. After today, how many balls did he give away? How many times did he get turned in the midfield? How many times did he get beat to the ball? How many times did he put in a challenge that wasn't strong enough? How many times did he show again and again and again that he's not good enough to be in the midfield? And yet, who played the full 90 minutes? Jorginho. If we have another Sarri here that's just in love with him for some reason that is not apparent to anybody watching, it'd be kind of frustrating to me. Because it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense why he's still playing. After the Tottenham game, I thought, all right, didn't have that great of a game. He was okay, but not nearly as good as at Burnley, so maybe give him a break. Get somebody else in there. We got Conte coming back. Maybe give him a run out. No, we'll just go with Jorginho again. And it nearly cost us. Because Sheffield, again, they put pressure up high. And Jorginho can't handle that pressure. If he's not receiving it with nobody coming on him, he's not effective. He's useless. The best thing you'll get out of him is he might keep possession. But he's not going to do anything with it. So, why is he playing? And then the subs. No sense whatsoever. No sense whatsoever. You got Alonso come on for Chilwell. Chilwell didn't have a good game, but this is just a like-for-like sub. It's not like Alonso brought anything different. Hudson-Odoi comes on for Giroud. Okay, now you've taken our target man out, which Giroud wasn't playing well either. But you've taken him out, and you've brought on somebody who, like I said in the last game, is not one of that front three. He should be playing wing back because he's better out wide. But sure, let's bring him on in the middle of the field where he's not as effective. Genius. And then Conte on for Werner because, hey, we need to sit back now, guys. We need to be way defensive, so let's not have any strikers. I mean, we're playing Sheffield United. I mean, my God, we need to be so defensive, so let's take our striker off and bring on a defensive midfielder. I mean, we're only little Chelsea, right? What kind of mindset is that? I'm sorry. Like, I know we want to get the 3 points. I know being defensive is a good idea. But to bring off your striker means you're now sitting in against Sheffield in 20th place. And they are on a good run. I'll give them that. But they're in 20th place. We should not be packing it in. We should not be parking the bus. We should not be going without a striker against Sheffield. That's the stuff you do when you're at Man City or you're at Man U or you're at Liverpool if you feel like you just don't have the players available. Man City did it today. They put Phil Foden up top. That's the stuff you do whenever you feel like, okay, we do want to look to sit back and sort of counter on them. This is Sheffield. Idiots. So yeah, Tuchel definitely raised a lot of red flags for me. And, again, I'm not somebody that's going to say, oh, we just need to get rid of him, like he's not good enough. But some of these issues need to be addressed soon because they're issues that Lampard were having. So we brought Tuchel in to fix those issues, and they're not getting fixed. We're still having them. It's still very apparent. The only difference is we found the goals now. I don't know why Lampard wasn't able to, but everything else in our play is the same. It's just somehow we've managed to get those goals now. One of them, of course, was kind of a dumb decision from Ramsdale, but the other one was just we had one good run of play, and then it led to a goal, and then that's pretty much all we had in the first half, really. So, anyways, on to the individuals. Mendy in goal. It's hard because it's not like he played terribly. He did have the one issue with the own goal. It's kind of on both of them, in my opinion. Rudiger should pick his head up and see where Mendy is. Mendy should talk to him and say away. And then neither of them talked, neither of them did anything, and then it's in the back of the net. I mean, hello, you guys are a team, right? You've played professional football before, right? You know how this game works. You can't play without talking. So talk to each other. Somebody figure something out. And honestly, Mendy is not the whole issue, but our entire defense today for me, without Silva, we look so disorganized. That shouldn't be happening. One player should not suddenly affect the whole organization of our back line, but it did. We're defending last ditch, trying to block shots because we can't make challenges. Nobody's stepping in. Our midfield is not helping out. It looked, we had no clue what we were doing. It was so open and so easy to cut through us. So, somebody's got to step up. I don't know who it's got to be, but somebody's got to step up because it can't just be, oh, well, Silva's out hurt for a while, so now we just got to worry about our defensive back line. That can't happen. So, Yeah, whether it's got to be Christensen because he's central, whether it's got to be Mendy because he's the keeper, or whether it's got to be Dave because he's the veteran in the back line. Somebody needs to just grow a pair and say, all right, I'm taking charge. I'm going to talk to you guys. Let's communicate. Let's figure this out because it's not good enough defensively. But on to, I guess, talking more individuals. Rudiger obviously had the awful mistake. Did make up for it a bit with some good blocks at the end, some good defending. But the problem with it is it's Van Dyke defending, is what I like to call it. It's the lack of organization, the lack of reading the situation, but then athletically, he does well to get himself in good positions. He hasn't read it very well, but now he's quick enough and strong enough to put himself in front of the attacker and get it out. So it's just, there's got to be more sense there. Athletically, I've never had an issue with him. I've always felt like he's been one of our better defenders when it comes to speed and strength and beating people in the air. It's just always been his mind. He makes dumb decisions a lot. So gotta improve that. Christensen didn't do a lot good or bad. He was just sort of there holding the line a little bit. Made a couple good challenges, but then also had a couple moments where he got beat way too easily. So kind of up and down for game, kind of an up and down game for him. And I do want to see more from him because if anybody's going to take that center role from Silva whenever he's not in, it's going to be Christensen because Christensen is that player that can sit in the middle. We've seen him do it before. But the problem is where he is right now mentally, it doesn't seem like he's fit for it. It seems like he's still kind of questioning himself. He's still reacting too late to situations. And he's got to improve it because he's not got the speed and strength to make up for it like Rudiger does. So if he's not there, if he doesn't read the situation, well, guess what? He's not going to get there. And then Azpilicueta, I've seen better from him. He's somebody that I hold at a very high standard, and today he didn't meet that high standard. It's not like he played terribly, but he didn't do normal defensive work that I expect him to do. He wasn't reading the situations and beating players to the ball. It didn't feel like he was really doing as much as I expect him to do in defense. Kind of that leading by example, I guess. So it's because I hold him very high standard. I'm sure, to be perfectly honest, I was more focused on the front because of how frustrating they were. So I don't really remember seeing much from Azpilicueta, so he could have had a great game. But in my opinion, if I'm not noticing him make great challenges, that means that he's either just sort of in the right spot but not really doing much to challenge, or he's just not really playing up to his standards. So it's kind of a weird hodgepodge for him. If he's having a bad game, you can definitely tell. But if he's having a good game, most of the time you don't even notice he's out there because he just silently does his job. James and Chilwell, both pretty disappointing in my opinion. James, he's a player that came on with a lot of fire last season. And it seems like that fire's just gone. His crossing is not nearly as good. Being on the ball, it seems like he's not as willing to try to drive and beat people anymore. Defensively, it feels like he's caught out of position way too much. And even when he is in the right position, it feels like his challenges aren't really smart. He's just sort of diving in now. So I don't know what's happened to him. I don't know if it's just kind of a confidence thing or, sometimes the youth players, whenever they first step into the Premier League, it takes them a little bit to get going. They start off hot because they're a new player. You have to adjust to playing against new players. But then they sort of become known in the Premier League and you know how to play against them, and then they have to find out how to work around that. One player I talk about that's done that very well in my opinion is Kane. He came out flying, just absolutely flying at Tottenham, and then teams figured out how to play against him, so they started finding ways to shut him down, but now he's sort of upgraded his game almost to the point where he can still do it even though teams know him. And that, in my opinion, is a sign of a good player that can switch up how they play their game and really, even if teams know how to play against them, they find ways to still play their game in those situations. James, in my opinion, is in that transition phase, I feel like. He started off last season on fire, but now teams have figured out how to play against him, how to keep him in check, and it's like he's figuring out what to do now, and that lack of confidence is hurting him, in my opinion. And then Chilwell on the other side, he's just not really had the same fight and desire ever since he first started. When he first came in, seemed like he was going to be a good player. He came in flying. It was like, yes, this is what we needed at left back, and now he's just sort of there. He's not doing anything terribly. He's still, in my opinion, a better option than Emerson and Alonso, but he's still not doing enough to really justify the price tag that we spent for him. And that was, a lot of people were frustrated that we spent so much money on him. In my opinion, I still think he can be worth the price tag. It's just right now he's in a rut and he's not getting out of it. He's still stuck there. So he's not really very effective on the attack. Defensively, not doing great. He's just sort of a player that's out there right now. Which, talk about Alonso just a little bit as well. I feel like the same for Alonso. He had that first game where he came in and he scored the goal and everybody's loving him again. But he's not really done much since he started that. Was it the Burnley game? Yeah. Since he played in the Burnley game, against Tottenham, he was just there. He did okay, but didn't really do anything super effective like he did against Burnley. And then today, he came in. I don't know what they were hoping to get out of him, but in my opinion, he didn't show anything different than Chilwell. He got it inside more often. I don't know if that was the plan, is to get him more involved in the center. But in my opinion, you want him out wide. You want him to receive that ball and then send the cross in. And he was central more often than not. So I don't know. He's such a weird player to discuss because there are times that I love him and I want him out there and I want him to play. And then there are times I'm like, why are we using him? Like, he just seems so sporadic and he doesn't seem like he's following the game plan. So whatever the case, into the center. Jorginho and Kovacic for the fourth game in a row now. And yeah, you can tell, like, midfield today, we lost a lot of the battles. And whether it's tiredness, whether it's they're just not good enough, I'll leave that up to you guys. In my opinion, it's because we're not good enough there. Jorginho, like I've said before, is not good enough. He's not fast enough. He's not strong enough. He's not quick enough. Not good enough defensively. He's just not good enough to be in the center of the midfield, especially against a team like Sheffield who are going to press you high. They're going to leave guys up top that are going to be on you as soon as you receive it. We're not going to be able to play that possession game that we like to with Sheffield. So Jorginho is not the player to go with. Kovacic, in my opinion, it's probably more tiredness from him just because he has been playing a lot and he's a player that gives a lot every game. He's got a lot of energy. He turns, he dribbles, very quick. So I feel like both of them they are both tired, but in my opinion for Jorginho, it's much more apparent because I already don't think he's good enough. And he's been playing sort of ahead of where he normally does, so now he's dropping back further because, well, now he's tired and he's playing against a team that basically counteracts his whole point of being out there. Kovacic, though, one thing I do want to talk about for him is, again, that whole getting down the field and finding the final pass has got to be better. They both take way too many touches, in my opinion. Jorginho, there's so many times where the guy's out wide. Play him, touch. Play him, touch. Play him, touch. Pass. Okay, great. Now you've essentially drawn everybody over to the left side of the field and then given him the ball. And now he's got 5 players on him when you could have played it first time and he would have had 1. Watching him play drives me insane sometimes. Kovacic, though, for him, the touches are not as bad as Jorginho because for Jorginho it's more about just like he wants to keep possession, like he touches it this way and then he touches it that way. He's got the option, touch and then touch again. And so he's not really going anywhere. With Kovacic, he is going somewhere. He's driving down the field, but it's like he waits too long to release it. And that's his biggest problem. Because there are several times he breaks in that space and it looks good, but then it breaks down because he should have played it to Werner. Werner's in. You took that first touch out into space, you take another one, pick your head up, there he is, play it. Nope. touch, Werner's offside. Now he plays it and then offside. So it happened way too many times for me. And I have had that criticism of Kovacic before. He needs to be more clinical when it comes to the final third. His shooting, not really that great. He's had a couple great hits, but for the most part, it's not been good. Final passes, it feels like he's waiting too long to release it. It's got to be better. And then finally, the front three. Mount played in behind Werner and Giroud. It's hard because I do understand the concept. I understand wanting to get two of these three really good strikers on the field at the same time. But all of them, I feel like, are just not used to playing with each other. So I don't know if they're just not doing that at training or what, but it feels like they don't really work off of each other as well as two strikers in a system should. Because for both Abraham and Giroux, both of them are the tall guys that you should be able to send the ball long to, and then they can flick it on. And then Werner's got the pace to beat them, beat the back line. But first of all, we never send it long for some reason. I don't know why, even though we've got great players who can get in behind. Still never go long for some reason. But we never seem to, whenever we do get it up to Giroux, we never seem to work off of him with Werner at least. And that's how it should be. He should be drawing players to him, Giroux, and then Werner should be making those runs in behind because now all the defenders are focused here. Like, it should be pretty obvious, but it doesn't feel like we ever do that. It feels like Werner sort of stays wide, looks to try to get down the line. Giroux still stays central and still does his thing where he's just looking to receive and then lay it off to Mount or Kovacic or whoever's behind him. And then Mount, is just the roamer. He's a wanderer. He likes to roam around. All right, anyways. But that's where I feel like that front three should be more connected. They should be working off each other better. And I don't think they do. It just doesn't seem like they have worked on it, at least. And I don't know if that's true. Obviously, I mean, I have seen a couple of the clips of the the videos of training, so I have seen a little bit, but not enough to know what exactly they're working on. But in my opinion, this is something they should be working on. This is a system that they should be working on. So it should be a situation where your two strikers should be working together. Werner shouldn't be the one out wide because Chilwell should be that guy. So why is he out there? Why isn't Giroux receiving and then Werner makes the run in behind, little layback to Mount or Kovacic or whoever, and then they slip it over the top, and now he's making this run across and he's in behind. Like, very simple setups for attacks. But it feels like we don't ever do that. And a lot of that, again, is down to the fact that we just look to keep possession instead of trying to release somebody for some reason. The one time we decide not to go backwards is the one time we create a chance and score. Go figure. But it's shocking to me that with two, in my opinion, two really good strikers up top, even if Abraham were up there with Werner, whoever you put up there, you've got quality. All three of them have their own qualities that they bring to the pitch, and they're very effective whenever they're in form. So why not utilize those together instead of trying to get them to do their own thing? It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know if that's something that they are working towards or if it's not even something that they've thought of. But in my opinion, it would work very well if we could actually do that. But again, we're not. I don't know why. But all three of them, in my opinion, Giroux actually probably was the worst of the three. It just seemed like touch wasn't happening for him today. It didn't seem like things were really coming off. For Werner, he was definitely making things happen. Great run down the line to make the assist for Mount. Great run to set up the penalty, which, how was that not instantly called? My God, like when that happened and he waited and waited and waited and then after like a minute went to VAR, like, seriously? You and the assistant referee, you couldn't see that. You couldn't see that there was clearly contact. You guys are cowards, aren't you? You didn't want to make the call, did you? But yeah, so he did set up both of our goals, which is good. But he made a lot of great runs. It's just nobody's playing him still. We played him a little bit more today, but still not much. As much as he makes those runs, as much as he's terrorizing that back line, you feel like we'd put their back line under a lot more pressure, but we don't because we like to keep possession. And Mount was just, again, full of energy. He works hard in the midfield. It's basically what he's best known for. That's why he continues to get picks. So he does it every game, and he did it again today. But then as far as the subs are concerned, Hudson-Odoi came on, and like I said, he's not effective behind that striker. He's not effective being central as he is running down the line. And in my opinion, because Reece James wasn't having a great day, that would have been a good time to reintroduce Hudson-Odoi into that wing back and see, can he do it? Can he continue to do it? Because if so, great. You've got another option now to put Reece James under pressure and get him to push himself more. But playing him in behind the striker, I don't see it. I think Ziyech could probably play that position better. I thought he should have been the sub if you're going to bring somebody else into that front three. But yeah, Hudson-Odoi, it's not from lack of trying. It's just he's not very effective there. And then Conte came on for Werner, and, again, another player full of energy, but we're playing him a bit further forward for some reason. Don't know why. So he did what he always does. He ran around a lot, put a lot of pressure on people. But I think his best position is sitting in front of that defensive line, and that's not where they had him. They had him running around, more further forward, looking to get on the ball. It's not his game. So some weird decisions from Tuchel, in my opinion, but a win's a win, and obviously I'm happy to get another 3 points. We're still undefeated under Tuchel, but there are definitely some questions that need to be answered before we face even tougher opposition. Because so far, we've faced 3 good teams who are in not a great run of form and didn't put us under a whole lot of pressure. Now we faced not so great a team who is in good form and did put us under pressure. We've won all of them, but we still have yet to face a good team who's in a good run of form and will put us under pressure. Once we hit that barricade, that's where I feel like, unless we can answer some of these issues we've been having, we're going to struggle. And especially because of the fact of how much form has played into our season so far, I feel like if we don't get ourselves figured out before then and we do lose a game or two coming up soon, it could be a rough rest of the season trying to stay in that fight for the top 4, because now we are. We put together a good string of results. Teams above us have dropped points, which is great, and now we are in a fight for the top 4 again, which is fantastic and is what we've needed. But now we got to stay up there, and we can't be dropping points here and there, because every point dropped is a missed opportunity to get ourselves back into that top 4. So, but anyways, with all that being said, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What were your thoughts on the game? Let me know. We can talk about it and discuss all the good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Chelsea reviews, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.